Alright, so I dug out this little fire pit with the trowel, a little trench between some rocks, and then I set the rocks up around it. And I've been burning some coals down for about 10 minutes. And now it should be ready to cook on. And I can just feed it with some tiny twigs to control the flame. Really all I need this morning is coffee, so a lot of work for coffee, but later I'm going to cook lunch on it and possibly dinner while it rains. So I'm here under the tarp. I've got a knot in my left shoulder that's really a nuisance right now. So it's kind of a good thing that it's raining, and I'll take a rest day. I'm just going to chill in the hammock and read. I've got a great book that I'm reading, Kevin Callan's Ontario's Lost Canoe Routes. Lots of great maps in there and some routes that I already want to do this summer, as well as some great write-ups about his travels. Kevin Callan is a definite big fan of his. And I'll make some coffee and tea maybe, and cook under the tarp and stay dry, and also pick some fiddleheads that I saw yesterday, and I'll cook them up either with lunch or dinner. So it should be a nice relaxing day. Alright, so I got my coffee, multivitamin, and oatmeal raisin cookies, and that'll be breakfast. I'm not a big breakfast guy, so that just tides me over till lunch. Man, that coffee looks amazing. Steaming away. And because all the twigs are under the tarp and they're perfectly dry, this has burned down to not much, and it's not smoking at all at the end of the fire, so that's really nice. If it gets all smoky, then the tarp and my living space for the day is going to get smoky, and I don't really want that. So one thing I want to show is in regards to bathymetry, depth charts. So came up here on the highway, came in through the access road and launched there. And Wicksteed has bathymetry on Navionics. So this is the Navionics app. And it's pretty decent. But then my route continues up here, and there's nothing. Often Navionics doesn't have coverage on smaller lakes or lakes that are off the beaten path. It has Rabbit Lake to the north, which is another larger one, but nothing in between. So my buddy Billy Garrison hooked me up with this file from the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry on the Land Information Ontario website, and I'll probably do a video on this someday, but you can get all kinds of old bathymetric studies done by the MNR. So here's Mackenzie Lake. All the lakes that I was thinking about visiting have this, so that's super helpful when you're trying to dissect a lake and find some good spots. And they're old maps, they're cool to look at. I enjoy it. I love cartography and maps. So Hurdle Lake, where I was yesterday, and these are some lakes I was thinking of portaging into, but it wasn't worth it. I had enough to discover without having the portage. So here are some of the things I thought were fiddleheads, but now I'm not so sure. Fiddleheads should be less than 8 inches if you're going to eat them. And they should have like brown papery skin. This isn't papery, it's like cottony. They are also supposed to have a U-shaped stem. There should be a groove there, but there isn't. Nah, that's too bad. I don't think I'll eat it. It's just not worth the risk of getting sick if I'm wrong. If those aren't fiddleheads, then I'll try and figure out what they are when I get home, but yeah. If you can't ID 100%, especially when you're alone, I would err on the side of caution. I can pretty safely say that this is the best rainy day setup I've ever made. I'm here in the hammock, and the one problem I was having is I had a chill. It's cool and damp today, but I just went in this tent and got my sleeping bag, and I'm so much more comfortable now. The tarp is covering the hammock perfectly, and then within reach I have everything I need. There's my little cook fire, plenty of twigs to keep it going later, and a reserve supply over here, all of which are under the tarp and dry. And then my food bag, my day bag, and water and anything else I need. There's a slug on my water. The slugs just get all over everything. Annoying. And here's the book I'm reading. It's outstanding. Usually I don't buy a lot of print materials. I just don't like having things in my at home. But this book has been so worthwhile. It's just a small paperback. It was only $20, which is an absolute steal for the contents of it. Maps and Kevin Callan's accounts of his travels, which have been highly enjoyable to read. Honestly, wish I could have paid more for it if it went to Kevin Callan, but anyway, that's a beauty. I've been reading for a little while and enjoying that, but struggling to stay warm. Getting the shivers and the chills down to my bones, so I'm gonna have to get out of my sleeping bag, which will suck at first, and get a little fire going and make some coffee, and might have an early lunch while I have the fire going. And I really hope it'll stop raining later, because I do want to get some fishing in today, and if I can have fish for dinner, that would certainly be ideal. For lunch today, I'm going to be making the best non-calzones of my life. So I've got the normal stuff, which is right there, plus bacon and peppers, which I'm going to heat up first and get them a little kind of sauteed in the pot, and then I'll close the lid on the pot while I get everything else ready. But I'm going to have the salami in this one, so should be pretty fantastic. I mean, I already made some coffee and I'm feeling a lot warmer now that I've got the fire. Here is my masterpiece. Here's the plating. Quite nice. Peppers lightly sauteed with bacon. Salami, cheese, tomato sauce. Plating could be improved upon if there were some fried fiddleheads present, but we're plumb out. Wow. Didn't realize I had left the backcountry and was downtown Toronto at a 5-star restaurant. That was exquisite. Oh, delicious, honestly. So good. Well, it's 1 o'clock and it's pouring. The rain's only picking up steam so far today. and it feels like kind of an all-day rain, so I don't expect it to let up for at least a few more hours. At least I'm still really enjoying the book. I'm reading it really slowly, savoring it. Books like this are really like fine dining for my imagination. So I'm just slowly eating away at it. It's good. I'm not concerned. Having a nice rest day. My shoulder, the shoulder blade all around it is still really knotted up, and just moving it like that is it's a little painful. So it's for the best that I'm stuck here resting. This is a pretty funny classic case of synchronicity. In this part of the book, Kevin Callan is talking about finding a portage sign on a lake that's well away from where I am right now. And there's a typo, and it talks about a spruce grouse and the portage between Wicksteed and Bruce Lakes. It's the wrong one. It's weed duck. He's talking about weed duck, but the caption says Wicksteed and Bruce. Wicksteed is the lake I passed through, and there's Bruce on the map right below it. So that's pretty funny. Weird that it's happens to be right around where I am. Well, it's been about an hour and a half since the last fire, and that means I'm cold, so I'm gonna make another one. Just can't keep warm on this damp day. The fire pit's working out quite well. I can balance either the pan or the pot on it quite easily. And if I blow down this crevice here, as you can probably hear, there's plenty of wind to do that for me right now, but if there's not, then I can blow down there and all the wind funnels into that, and it stokes the fire quite well. And then there's a nice big flat chimney stone on the back, so it's working well. Well, I just discovered why there was that typo about Wicksteed and Bruce Lakes earlier in the book. That part was meant to be up ahead here. Little did I know, the route that I'm currently on is in this book, and I'm about to read his account of it. So that should be fun. I'm excited to see his take on this route. So the account of this route was disappointingly short, but he talks about a 10-meter portage that goes around the rapids that I waded through. I didn't see that portage, but I don't care because I prefer to wade that one anyway. It was a bit cumbersome, but it was better than unloading and loading the canoe for a 10-meter portage. And also says, blah 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 blah, all of these things make a restful stay on Wicksteed a far better option. So far I might be right. That paddling was pretty brutal. And the paddle out tomorrow, I'm supposed to have a headwind for as well. And I have this knotted shoulder, so that'll be good. That'll be fun. Oh my. Here's another typo, and this one is quite egregious. Okay, so Kevin Callan is, I think, a part-time professor at the school I'm currently doing a post-grad certificate in GIS. And he's talking about it here, and he misspelled the name. It's Sandford Fleming College. And this is a notoriously common mistake made by graduates on their resume, for instance. But yeah, he teaches there, so that's a bit of a blunder. Oh well. I actually saw him one day in the halls this year, and then once in the computer lab as well. And I was too starstruck to talk to him. I didn't know that he taught there at the time, so I was quite surprised and taken aback.
But I didn't want to bother him either way, so who knows, maybe one day I will. So tomorrow I've got to head back from Mackenzie Lake down Mackenzie Creek and back across Wicksteed with the headwind. And I don't have a lunch for tomorrow unless I catch a fish. I was planning on having at least one, maybe two meals of fish on this trip, and that hasn't happened so far. And the problem is, tomorrow is supposed to be potentially rainy as well. So in order to cook fish, I'm going to have to set up for lunch somewhere and get a fire going and clean the fish. And if it's wet out, I'm really not going to want to do that, so it might just be another final day of snacks. And if it is, so be it. I'm just making dinner now, and cheesy potatoes. It's an easy one, just boil water, put in the rehydrated potatoes, add cheese and pepper. So I've been under the tarp all day, and I'm definitely getting a little stir crazy. I'm done the book. I'd already put a bit of a dent in it at home, and now it's done. I could start rereading it. We're doing crosswords, but again, I keep getting cold, so bleh. I'm ready to be done with this day. It was nice for a bit, but that time has passed. I just had the garlic potatoes, and now I'm drinking some mint tea to freshen the old breath. The rain seems to be maybe dying down. It's just a mist now, which blows under the tarp, which is a bit annoying. But if it dies off altogether, that would be awesome, so I can go fishing. And yeah, I'm going to need the fresh breath, because if I catch a big fish, I'm going to kiss it. That's a promise. It's 5:30, so I've spent almost 11 hours under the tarp. And I'm just itching to get out, but the wind is howling, and there's still a mist on the air, which will build up with the wind. It'll just constantly spray and spray, and then I'll be soaked, and I will struggle to get myself dry if I get wet, so this is not an option. I'm wearing all my clothes, so if I get wet, tonight will be absolutely miserable. Ryan, I hope you're having better weather than I am on your Algonquin trip. Your first canoeing backcountry trip. Hope it's better than this. Hey, Lou. Give me 2 fingers of scotch. Coming right up, Petey boy. What's wrong? You and Susie have another fight? Here's your scotch. Thanks, Lou. No, Susie and me, we're good. But it was the Pike Walleye opener yesterday. Only got a few dinks to show for it. Oh, that's rough. I'm sorry to hear that. Me too, Lou. Me too. Hey, don't worry, Petey boy. Things will turn around. You'll keep your chin up. Wasn't your accent just different in the last scene? No, I don't think so. I'm out. Oh, hey, Petey boy, come on. Don't leave. I'm sorry, Lou. I just need to be alone right now. I'll see you later. Thanks for the scotch. And that's the rainy day montage of the day. It's about 6 o'clock, so I'm surprised I made it this far without doing one. I'm pleased with that. I was trying to avoid it. It's pretty dumb, but it's fun. Maybe I should have been an actor. Gone to Hollywood. Maybe it's not too late. I mean, I did just quit my job and leave my career last year to pursue a new one. I could do it again. I'm gonna be a star. No, we're not doing another one. Stop. That's it for today. Sorry. Well, it started to rain again, so probably not fishing today at all. I feel like I'm half conscious right now. I've been just sitting for so long, lying down for so long. I was asleep, and then all day, as soon as I woke up, rain was pitter-pattering on the tent, and then I came under the tarp. I cooked a bit, made some fires. Sometimes I feel like I'm just zoned out, looking like a half-dead goldfish, just staring out from the glass bowl that is this tarp and the area beneath it. Move! Get me out of here! Help! So I've made some changes to the arrangement to stay warm, and I'm now sitting horizontally, perpendicular to the hammock, and I'm rocking myself in it. My feet are on the ground, and rocking seems to be helping keep my blood moving and keep me warm. I've also got my my sleeping bags completely compacted under my butt and back, and it's actually keeping them extremely warm. And the saying, keep your core warm and you'll stay warm, is ringing true right now. My torso midsection is all warm, and now I feel warm overall. And this is all so uninteresting. I'm sorry. I hope some internet troll, I'm looking at you, internet troll, for the few random people on YouTube that watch my videos. I hope you'll tell me how dumb this video was, because this will be the day 3 video. And I hope you give me what I deserve, which is a terrible review. Maybe downvote it and just say, oh, this is awful, I hate you. I wish your canoe would sink and that you would, just give it to me. I deserve it. This is so dumb. I shouldn't even post this out of respect for you. But I'm gonna. But then again, I'd like to see how anyone else would react to 12 hours under a tarp in basically the same spot. I mean, I've sat here in the hammock, and I've sat right below the hammock on the ground, but that's pretty much it. So, judge not lest thee be judged. Okay, I need to stop taking videos. Hopefully that's all I do today, because I've wasted a lot of battery power on nothing today, and I have about half a battery left out of my 3 batteries. And something interesting might happen tomorrow, who knows? So, bye. Maybe. I am out of dry, dead wood. I have been for some time. And I'm resorting to things that were just broken off of live trees, or things that are wet. And these things produce a smoky fire. And the wind is swirling right now. Sometimes I'm sitting here in my hammock and it comes blowing back in my face. Like right now. And guess how I feel about that? Yeah. You can't see my face, but it's mad. I should have kept more dry, dead wood under the tarp. Although it's been misting under the tarp, the wind has been blowing out under the tarp, so almost nothing has kept dry regardless, but Les Stroud said on one of his Survivor Man episodes, when you're trying to stack up firewood for a night of camping beside a fire to keep warm, build it, and then build it, I think he said 10 times higher. And that's good advice. Yeah, I should have put way more under the tarp in the most prime position possible. Not at the edges where it got wet. Lesson learned. Eight o'clock. Still raining. Stoking the fire. Still with wet twigs. Just want to fish. Pretty bummed out that I couldn't fish today, the day after the Pike and Walleye opener, which is kind of the reason I came up here. But what are you gonna do? Right now, I am just thinking about my dinner on the way home tomorrow when I get out of here. Usually when I drive back south down through North Bay, I get Little Caesars, hot and ready. Right now I feel like Harvey's. I do have Harvey's coupons in the car, of course. So I might do that, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to stuff my face one way or another. And hopefully it won't be too wet. Tomorrow could be rainy. It's going to be some rain, probably at least, so I'm mentally preparing for that. Because today, at least I was pretty dry. Tomorrow, I'm going to have to be paddling and wet. Okay. So, most of my fingers are burnt lightly, but to a dry crisp from stoking the fire all day. Maybe worst of all, this pinky, which has those two blood blisters from momentarily touching one of the rocks that was burning hot all day, most of the day. And yeah, I tried putting some sap on that blood blister because I've read that will help ease the pain of a burn, and there was an instant soothing sensation, and then after that, nothing. And now, later, maybe something, but moderate at best. Okay, to wrap up this day, that ointment did seem to work after maybe 15 minutes or more now. I feel like it has helped the burn on my finger. Next, I hope the tent is dry. That mist may have crept under the tent and through the mesh, but I hope not. We'll see. And lastly, I am really hoping that the rain just peters out overnight and that I don't wake up to it, because then I'll have to pack out in the rain and paddle out in the rain, and I don't want that. That's all I'm asking for right now. That would be awesome.